Hello and welcome back to ROADTRIpVIA, the road trip ready trivia quiz made to be played while riding in your car. Today's episode, Friday Night Pub Quiz number 14. This is episode number 829. Today we have a 21 question trivia quiz, 20 questions up front, a question 21 tiebreaker at the end of the episode if you need to stick around for that. There's a good mix of questions today. You're going to have a good time. Let's get started with question number 1. She postponed her execution by telling her husband Shahryar a story each night but saving its climax until the following day. Who is this woman of Arabian Nights who told 1,001 tales? What was her name? From the famous story, her name was Scheherazade. Question number 2. Geographically, what term is given to the region that is 166 miles long and only 34 miles wide in western Oklahoma, suggesting that the shape of the state resembles a cooking item able to be picked up? The geographic name for that area of the state is called the Panhandle. Question number 3. The second chapter of the Gospel according to John begins with Jesus performing a miracle at Cana during a feast. What transformation did Jesus perform involving two beverages? You've probably heard the story. That was when Jesus turned water into wine. Question number 4. The Balearic Islands lie in the west, while in the east are the Dodecanese Islands and Cyprus. The ancient Romans called it our sea. What is this body of water between Europe and Africa? The sea that they're referring to is the Mediterranean Sea. Question number 5. The namesake of an equilibrium in game theory that has become a cornerstone of modern economics and strategic decision-making. What Princeton mathematician was the subject of the 2001 film A Beautiful Mind, starring Russell Crowe? He is the namesake of the Nash equilibrium. His name, John Nash. Question number 6. Leda is Jupiter, Nina is Venus, Ray is Mars, Amy is Mercury, and Damien is Tuxedo Mask. These are all characters on what animated show where the Scouts fight Queen Beryl, the primary antagonist of the first season? The answer is Sailor Moon. Question number 7. One theory is that he was a 12th century Earl of Huntingdon named Robert Fitzooth who harassed Norman invaders. Perhaps because the Normans were rich? What is the name of this outlaw who lived in Sherwood Forest? Maybe they were rich because he robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. The answer is Robin Hood. Question number 8. If you start out with a methane molecule and substitute chlorine atoms to replace 3 of the hydrogen atoms on the molecule, what is the common name for the anesthetic that results? Starting out with a methane molecule and adding chlorine atoms. I don't know how a Brainy Tuesday question got into Pub Quiz Friday, but the answer is chloroform. Question number 9. Accused by his enemies of always spinning webs of plots and conspiracies and called the Spider King, which French king married the daughter of King James I and succeeded to the throne after the death of his father, Charles VII, in 1461? The Spider King was Louis XI. Question number 10. What is the name of the undifferentiated cells that are able to produce other cells of the body that are the subject of political controversy because of the use of fetuses as a source? What is the name given to those undifferentiated cells? The answer is stem cells. Question number 11. What is the name of the mineral used in cosmetics that occurs in tabular crystals, that is the primary component of soapstone and that ranks with the softest possible score on the Mohs scale of hardness? Often used in cosmetics, this soft mineral is called talc. Question number 12. They had a productive career until the death of their drummer, John Bonham. Then the other 3 members, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and John Paul Jones, made the decision to end what band that recorded hits like Stairway to Heaven? Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Question number 13. Although his name sounds like an aviation term, it is synonymous with one who washes his hands of the matter. What is the name of this procurator of Judea before whom Jesus was tried? His name sounds like an aviation term because it is Pontius Pilate. Pilate is the name. Question number 14. His work was met with violent opposition until 70 physicians and surgeons in London signed a declaration of their confidence in it. Who is this man who in 1796 vaccinated an 8-year-old boy with cowpox and smallpox? His name was Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner is the answer. Question number 15. In this kind of art, paint is dropped randomly on paper, which is then folded in half, producing a symmetrical design. What is this work which subjects interpret in the Rorschach psychological test? You've seen them do it in movies. That is called the inkblot test. Inkblot. Question number 16. The first resulted in the cession of Sicily to Rome. In the second, the Romans lost at Cannae. But Scipio Africanus managed to defeat Hannibal at Zama. And the last of what series of wars ended in the destruction of Carthage? Quiz writers today thought you guys were ready for a little bit harder questions. The answer is the Punic Wars. Question number 17. Founded in 1919 by Michael Collins, What paramilitary wing of the Sinn Féin attempted to kill members of the UK cabinet during the Conservative Party conference in Brighton in 1984? That would be the Irish Republican Army, or the IRA. Question number 18. Extinct volcanoes are those which are very unlikely to erupt again. What is the term used to describe volcanoes that are currently inactive but considered likely to erupt in the future? What do they call it when they're just currently not exploding? If it's not erupting at the moment, it's called a dormant volcano. Dormant is the term they use. Question number 19. In the literary source, she seldom bathed, had but one eye, and worked in a cigarette factory. What is the name of this woman who was caught in a love triangle with Don Jose and the toreador Escamillo in an opera by Georges Bizet? That is the story of Carmen. Carmen. And question 20. Episodes include the stealing of the cattle of Helios, the journey to the land of the Lotus Eaters, and the blinding of the Cyclops Polyphemus. What is the title of this epic poem by Homer? This story by Homer is called The Odyssey. And that concludes the first 20 questions for today's quiz. There is a question 21 tiebreaker coming up in just a second if you need to stick around for that. Now, during this quiz, I had to look up I feel like it was like 20 words and names to make sure I was pronouncing them correctly. So before you come at me in the comment section and say I just butchered a ton of these names, I did look up everything that I didn't know how to say, and I tried to pronounce it correctly. It's early in the morning. I've got an energy drink, so maybe they didn't come out 100% perfect, but I did my best. Subscribe to the channel if you like this type of trivia, and get ready for question 21, the tiebreaker. Doc Danica, Milo Minderbinder, and Captain Yossarian are all characters in Catch-22, a novel written by Joseph Heller that was published in what year? The answer is 1961, so whichever player got closest to 1961 wins the point. If there was a tie after question 20, whoever won that point just won the whole game, and that question is a perfect example of the names that I had to look up, because originally I thought it was Milo Minderbinder and Captain Yossarian. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I had to look them up. Milo Minderbinder and Captain Yossarian are all characters in Catch-22. I did my best to pronounce these. There were some tough questions today, so hopefully you did good, got a good score, and most importantly, hopefully you had a good time. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.